All right. Okay, well, it is 4 o'clock officially, so let's go ahead and begin our presentation and our dialogue for today. My name is Alejandro Cisneros, and our guest speaker for you tonight is Mr. Luis Medina. I'd like him to unmute and introduce himself. Mr. Medina, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Cisneros, and welcome everyone to our presentation regarding Alvord Adult School.
Wonderful. Mr. Medina, would you be able to share with our participants here, what is your position in the district?
So my position is principal of adult education and also career technical education lead for the district, and also principal of continuation or alternative education.
My goodness, you have so many hats. You do so much for our community. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us today. Okay, so on behalf of the Board of Education, we want to welcome you to tonight's session. You know, we always start off with a welcome, a greeting, and a thank you on behalf of the board. We know that we have so much good stuff happening in our school district, but it's not enough without your partnership, without your investment and your time, so that the people that really support our students at the greatest level, which is the family, the home, and the school, are able to work together to build those bridges to make sure that your community and your students are taken care of. So thank you for being here. We want to remind you that we don't want to just talk at you for a full hour. We want this to be a dialogue. So as we're going through the presentation, if you have questions, please feel free to drop it into the chat or the Q&A. I will be monitoring it throughout the entire session, and I'll be raising the questions up to our principal, Mr. Medina. If you, instead of typing out the question, if you'd like to verbally ask a question, you can raise your Zoom hand, and then I'll prompt you to unmute, and you can ask your question then. And then you'll just have to unmute your device. The session is being live streamed. It's going to be recorded and posted later. If you need to leave the session, you can come back. It's on both my YouTube, youtube.com/Alejandro Cisneros, or the Alvord Schools official YouTube. It'll be on both locations. And si necesita esta información en español, actualmente nuestra intérprete que nos está apoyando hoy es Ivonne Orozco Rangel. Muchas gracias, Ivonne, por estar aquí con nosotros hoy y siempre que nos apoyas. En la parte inferior de su pantalla verá la opción que dice Interpretation, es un globo, y puede cambiar el idioma de inglés a español. Si se une por medio de su teléfono y no ve el globo, verá 3 puntos que dicen More, y con esos 3 puntos son las opciones para sus herramientas de Zoom. Ahí mismo encontrará la opción de interpretación para cambiar de inglés a español. Mr. Medina, I'm going to unshare my screen so that you can share yours and kick off the presentation.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to share. I hope you can see Alvord Adult School slide 1.
Yes, sir, we got it.
Excellent. So again, thank you, Dr. Cisneros and Family Engagement Office for this opportunity. We do have an adult school in our small district. So this adult school is located nearby, and we'll get to that in a bit. But before that, let me get to our mission statement. There you see a picture of our teachers, and you'll listen and see the programs as well that we have for our community, for you if you're interested in joining. In our mission statement, it's focusing a lot on personal enrichment, college and career readiness, and skills to get adult learners ready for the community, to get you prepared with whichever focus you want to take on and get that going for you to the next level whether you're working during the day or you're working part-time. We want to get you to your goal. And so that is part of our mission statement, to enrich your lives with educational options. And so Alvord Adult School is recognized by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. What this means is this accreditation is or allows our school to look at any improvements every year, every 3 years, every 6 years as needed, because education is about learning, teaching, and improving in different areas. And so part of being a WASC, it's always being on top of the educational field to bring top-notch education to, in this case, our adults, especially when we focus on high school diploma and GED. So we're located on 3606 Pierce Street in Riverside. And some of you know, or you may know where Hillcrest High School is, right up the hill in Indiana and Pierce. We are between Indiana and Magnolia. There's a railroad track right there. You can't miss it. And we're right there, close to there, in between Indiana and Pierce. And that building you see right there has been there since 1924, still standing. Used to be an elementary school for a long time, and then it became an alternative education school or continuation high school, late 60s or so. And that's where I work during the day. This is a continuation high school, Alvord High School. And this is where students who are behind credits come to recover credits. A few go back because most like to stay here and graduate from here. But in the evenings, we have our adult school right there in that location for you.
And I know, Mr. Medina, this is separate, this is not part of the presentation, but I also want to just bring attention to how beautiful the campus is. And this school, Alvord High School, recently won an award, a citywide award through Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful in the high school category. So not only is it beautiful because it's a historic building with beautiful architecture, but Mr. Medina and his team are intentional and keep it beautiful. So thank you, Mr. Medina, for just that slight touch, making sure that the community sees Alvord and Alvord schools as a beautiful place to learn. So shout out to Mr. Medina.
Thank you, Dr. Cisneros. Yes, we were fortunate to win the cleanest campus for this year, and that's through the Riverside Chamber of Commerce. There's a program every year, Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful. And in this case, we're trying to keep our campus as clean and beautiful as possible, beautifying it through different plants and just greenery and keeping it clean. And so we had the honor of winning. We're going to get that presentation awarded this Friday at 10:30 during our student awards. So again, thank you for highlighting that. And this will be, if you're interested, your future adult school. And we also have Christopher Prescott, my assistant principal, or our assistant principal for adult education. So here are our programs. We have ESL, high school diploma completion, GED test preparation, and short-term CTE. We'll get into those programs in a little bit. And before I continue with English as a second language, I want you to know that the classes that I mentioned earlier, we have ESL, and we have 4 levels of ESL. That class is Mondays and Wednesdays, 4:30 to 7:30. And then we have high school diploma completion, GED, and short-term computers, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4:30 to 7:30. Going to English as a second language. So we, as adults, we work in the day, our 8-10 hour shift, and we have that opportunity to come to this country and me being an ESL student myself when I was here, when I was younger, we know it's hard to learn English, especially when you're working full time. And this gives you the opportunity to learn from our wonderful teachers. We have 4 wonderful teachers. We have Mrs. Gonzalez, who is a teacher at Norte Vista High School, and she teaches French, but she's trilingual actually. Spanish is very refined, English and French, and she teaches at Norte Vista High School, and so she teaches the advanced English class. Then we have the intermediate low with, I cannot say her last name because it's like this long German name, but her first name is Barbara, so please excuse me. But Dr.
Worker Fenning.
Wilberfenning. Thank you, Dr. Cisneros.
Mr. Medina, I'm going to ask you a bit of a silly question, but I know that sometimes when our community thinks of Alvord ESL programs, they think it's only for Mexicans or only for Spanish speakers. Is that true?
No, it's not true. We have different students from different backgrounds. We have students that speak Arabic, they speak Vietnamese, they speak Persian, they speak Hindu, different countries from Asia background, few Europeans, and a lot of Hispanics, yes, but yes, you're correct, Dr. Cisneros, or that is misinformation about. We also have a population, a diverse population that we serve. And so that's the beauty about getting all students from all backgrounds here and races. And so we have the intermediate ESL with our teacher that I just mentioned. We also have, and that was the low, we have the high intermediate. So we're talking about 4 levels. We have low, which I'll get in a bit, or you know what, let me get to it now. Low ESL or beginners with our teacher, Guadalupe Padilla, and she teaches elementary level at one of our schools in the day, and then she comes here at 4:30. Then we have intermediate or a mid-level class, low ESL, and that is taught by Amber, and she also teaches at an elementary school here in our district. I believe she teaches resource. And then we have we have beginners and the 2 intermediate, low and medium, and then the advanced with Claudia Gonzalez. So we have 4 levels for you to choose from on those days. And these classes focus on listening, speaking, reading, and writing, critical thinking. But above all that, they go and cover some important assessments that cover real life skill situations. For example, complete a job application. Now, some of you may know how to do that, and that's great. But if not, we will go over that with you online or in person. These skills are important because maybe a job application is similar in one place but different in another.
Mr. Medina, I have a question just for clarification because I don't understand it. You said that there are 4 levels for community members to choose from. If somebody comes to you and wants to take English as a second language, but they don't know what level to select from, what level would be most appropriate, how do you assign that? How do you determine that?
Yes. So what happens is, and I'll get to that in a bit, but let me also get to that now as an important question. Thank you, Dr. Cisneros. We have an orientation that we set up with you after you call for an appointment. For the very first time, you're like, oh, that school exists. Oh, I heard about that school in today's webinar. Or somebody told me about Alvord Adult School. So then you call us. We then schedule you for an orientation. The orientation gives you information about the school, the specific class that you are looking into, ESL in this case, for example, and then we'll give you an assessment. And we'll get to that in a bit. And so the assessment will then let us know where to place you. where to place you, whether it's beginning ESL, intermediate low, intermediate high, or advanced ESL. And so that's a great question. And again, it covers the listening, speaking, reading, and writing, critical thinking, as well as other practical real life scenarios that allow you to practice in English. So that way, as you're learning your English throughout your life, you're advancing it and you're getting better at it. And so that way you have those skills when you go for a job interview, for example, how to apply now, you know how to do it now at a different level, how to create a resume, how to demonstrate a successful job interview technique, as mentioned earlier. For example, another one, describing symptoms of an illness or other physical problems. Maybe you want to take your parent or yourself or your child to the doctor and you want to know how to explain these symptoms, to the doctor or the nurse. So these things are all real life. And so
if I understand it correctly, Mr. Medina, instead of, or it's not just teaching basic grammar or basic words or translation. I'm sure you do that, but it's also situations and role playing so that when your students are out in the community, they have that experience talking about job interviews and resumes or symptoms. So it's not like, here's how you say, I don't know, car or house or, but it's more in depth than that.
Definitely, yes.
Oh, wow.
Want to make sure you come out with as many tools as possible to apply it to the real world.
Beautiful. That's wonderful.
So when we talk about high school diploma completion, we talk about having our students then enter a program where they will get to finish their high school diploma that they couldn't finish earlier. Maybe we have students that in high school, they stopped attending because they have to go to work and, meet life's needs. And they had, let's say, 20 credits left, for example. Well, here we'll look at your transcript. Again, we'll do the orientation. Like our counselor, Mr. Anthony Resendez, will meet with the student and then go over the transcript and see how many credits that student needs, and then place you in the high school diploma class. This class is, again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4:30 to 7:30. And this is open to anyone 18 and over and who is not eligible for high school enrollment. And you need to bring your transcript so we can look at. So the graduation requirements is 180 credits. He will go over all that with you, a plan, a timeline to get you graduated by a certain time. All classwork is done using online curriculum and in-person classes with the ability to work outside of class is also available. So that is our high school diploma class. We had some graduates last year throughout the years. And so we invite you, if you need a high school diploma class, this is the place for you. We also have a GED test preparation with Mr. Tyler Chapman, open to anyone over the age of 18. The GED test prep course uses an online curriculum to get you ready to pass 4 sections of the GED test: the mathematical reason piece, the reasoning through language arts, like English, social studies, and science. Students pre-test in class to determine focus areas. And once you're ready, once you're prepared, you'll be referred to a testing center, $41 per subject area, and then you'll get your GED, equivalent to a high school diploma.
Mr. Medina, a couple of questions are coming up for me, but there's one that is coming up specifically through the chat. Ms. Dolores Cortes wants to know, is attendance for both days required in the GED classes?
At least one day we require, because it's very important to have the teacher there assist you and provide support. The other day, if you can do it online virtually, we'll accept it, but at least one day so we can count your attendance.
Beautiful, thank you. And then we have Anayeli just wrote in, I am 44 years old and I do want to finish my high school diploma. I left in 11th grade. Felicidades, congratulations, Anayeli. And we have the program here for you. Mr. Medina, would you be able to speak to the difference between high school diploma course or GED test prep course, and I guess what the difference is pragmatically, or why it matters between GED or a high school diploma, because I understand it to be the same. No.
Yes, so in the end, they are the same, but it's how you get there, if I may say that. And so it's the earning process. For example, the high school diploma takes longer because you're looking at 180 credits to complete. So in our case, you're taking 2 classes at a time. Each class is 5 credits. Those classes may take you maybe 6 weeks to continue to complete, or 2 months. And so the educational experience is part of it, but in the end, you're looking at time coming in with a high school diploma, online curriculum to learn and pass these tests and get your credits. It'll take longer versus getting ready for a GED test. And in the end, both can get you into a community college and get you to start at a community college and advance your post-secondary education.
Got it. Okay, so then the GED test prep, it would be to get your GED, you need to pass these 4 tests. So I guess the drawback or the downside would be that the tests are not free through the testing service. They're $41 per subject area. And then, we have a lot of students and community members who might have like testing anxiety. So if taking tests is hard for our community members, it's not insurmountable. I'm sure you and Mr. Tyler, I believe was his name, gives a lot of guidance and help through it. But that would be a downside. You take the 4 tests,
yes,
and then you get your GED, as opposed to the high school diploma course. You're having instruction, you're having guidance. It does take longer, but it's a little bit. It's more of that real life, real time support through the teachers, correct?
Yes, well-rounded education across all the subjects, a little longer, as you can imagine, versus getting ready for those $41 tests and see if you can pass them and when you can pass them. But we got both for you.
Beautiful. And so the GED test itself is $41 a subject. Does the course itself have a class, the GED class, high school diploma, or the English as a second language? Do those have costs?
For ESL?
For ESL or high school diploma, or even the GED test prep class, is there a cost to enroll in adult school?
No, only for GED test prep is the only one.
Okay, so for GED test prep, there's a cost to enroll, or you mean just the cost for the test
For the
themselves?
test, my apologies, per subject area, 41.
Okay, but the cost for our community members to enroll in the program is free.
Is free.
Fantastic. And I see that Michelle put a surprised emoji on his reaction. Yeah, because it's totally free and it's incredible. We have a couple of questions. Well, it's really one question asked 3 different ways or 3 different times. Is there the possibility, either now or in the future, for the adult school programming to be offered also at the old campus off of Jones and Campbell? Somebody saying maybe in Norte Vista. Is it right now the direction to be at Alvord High over off Pierce?
So in the past, when I started a long time ago, it was offered at La Sierra, then it got moved over here, then it got moved to Jones and Campbell, then it got moved to Norte Vista, then it got moved back to Jones and Campbell, now it got moved here. And so, yes, that's a good question, because if it's more on that side of town, Norte Vista, 4 miles from here, then it's serving more closer to the community, to the families here that are requesting, makes sense. Or vice versa here, if it's centralized, then of course it's meets both ways. But for now, it's gonna be located here. We're looking at maybe in the future relocating, even if possible, and this is my wish, if we can do day adult ed classes.
Wow.
But that's gonna take more planning, because the teachers that teach here adult ed are district teachers who work during the day. And so we gotta get teachers from outside, retired teachers, or for other teachers that can afford to give time and get paid or work during the day. For example, let's say 9 to 12, we have ESL classes.
Yeah.
9 to 12, we have GED. And so, yes, we don't have that opportunity yet, but in the future, we're hoping. And so for now, we're in this location for now.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Medina, for those questions.
Yes. Okay, so we have a short-term CTE, and what that means is like a career technical education class. In this case, it's there's a certificate from ICEV, and what it does, you get at the end a certificate of completion for finishing these classes. And so this helps you or helps students getting the certificate at the end while earning job skills to gain employment. What you learn is basic computer literacy, but that one has no certification. Office computer applications, certification in business and office technology. In the past, we did basic construction skills and career preparedness skills in the past. But this time we have 2 computer classes for the public. The first one is Introduction to Computer Basics, but they changed it. The teacher changed it to Computer Basics and Beyond, because we found out that students, or a lot of students, or the majority of students, adult education students, know the basics, how to turn on the computer, how to use a mouse, how to navigate somewhat in the computer. And so when we survey students, they want to know more about key topics such as cybersecurity, protecting yourself online, recognizing phishing attempts, social media, because they have children, for example, safe practices in privacy settings, phone technology, essential smartphone features, mobile security, artificial intelligence. We hear that now every day, artificial intelligence in Google products, understanding artificial intelligence or AI's impact, exploring Google tools. And so this class is 15 weeks. It started September 17th. However, we have room. We still have room Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4:30 to 7:30 here. If you're interested, please let me know, or at the end, you'll see my email, and email me, because we'll let you in that class, okay? We have an advanced computer class. So the first class is Mr. Chowdhury, and the other advanced class is Mr. Rasmussen. Mr. Chowdhury works with me in the day. He teaches online ingenuity classes here. And then Mr. Rasmussen works at Loma Vista Middle School as a CTE teacher for our middle school students, and he teaches that other class as well. And that one goes over the ICEV certificates. And so please, if you are interested in either one of those 2, email me. I'll provide that information in a little bit. Okay.
You said something very interesting, Mr. Medina. I'd like to maybe pause on that. You said we have room for the short-term CTE classes. Is there currently room for the ESL high school diploma or GED courses?
So right now, we do not, but in the end, I'll give you the information to contact us so we can let you know when the window opens for the next GED availability in high school diploma.
So I'm sorry, I guess I didn't ask the question correctly. It's not that there's no room, because we have the teachers. It's just the enrollment process has already ended for now, and then you'll let us know when they can enroll in the future.
Yes, but except for the computer classes, there's room right now, because even though it started a little later, we still can take students in. Those 2 are the exceptions.
Beautiful, thank you. And for our community members, I've dropped into the chat the link for the website for adult education, where you can go in and learn more about the registration process.
Excellent. All right. So what's coming, or what are we looking for in the future? So Corona Norco and Riverside Unified, they have other CTE classes to get their students or adult students certificated, such as, let's see, physician, pharmaceutical, the pharmaceutical certificate, or another one is phlebotomy. And this one here is a certified nurse assistant. Other schools, like in West Covina, there's even a Tesla certificate where they work on Tesla vehicles. And that's another district, but I'm just giving you examples where these adult schools are going to provide, to educate our students and provide certificates so they can earn a better wage and have more opportunities. Our school is smaller, so we're a little behind. However, we're looking, we already applied for this grant and we have the funds ready. We are just looking for either a registered nurse or a teacher who has a CTE credential in a biomedical background or pathway. And what this class does is go over the medical terminologies as a certified nurse assistant, go over that and go over the internship, the practicum. You'll see that there'll be like hospital beds. There'll be, for example, like if you're walking in a class that is teaching a LVN class, or again a CNA class, a nurse assistant class, you can imagine what's in there: a skeleton or a dummy to do CPR, how to draw blood, different posters on the board, medical posters. And so they're learning from a registered nurse or a teacher with CTE background in biomedical. And that would be for 3 days, 3 evenings. Once we have this person, this instructor, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 4:30 to 7:30. We're just trying to hire someone right now. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, because it's 5 days, because this is pretty intense, because in the end, you will get your certified nursing assistant certificate. So Tuesday, Thursdays, then the ESL, because it's an ESL or English language learner CNA pathway. So for bilingual students, keyword bilingual students, or ESL students, more like middle level ESL students. And I say bilingual because you have to be at a middle school level, mid-level ESL understanding, because we get into all the medical terminologies that you need to understand to make it through. So if we have a beginner's ESL and you're trying to make it in here, it's going to be difficult, because when you get to the terminology and the practicum, the practice is going to be difficult. So mid-level ESL to advanced level ESL students are welcome to, once we get our instructor, to apply to this class of 2 cohorts, 15 students each cohort. And that Tuesday, Thursdays, ESL teacher will support the students, because this is, again, ESL. That teacher will use a software called Engen, ENGEN, a software used on cell phones and computers, to then go over the terminologies in both languages to get you used to all that terminology. So when you then go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, that ESL support for that is ready for you, and you're gonna then continue learning and thriving on your Monday, Wednesday, Fridays class with the nursing instructor. So it's 5 days. We don't have an instructor yet for the nursing, certified nursing assistant piece yet. We do have the ESL person ready, but we're just being held by trying to get the instructor for the CNA piece.
Wonderful. So that'll be coming up soon for our community. That's amazing, Mr. Medina, that after this program, our graduates of the program will have a certified nurses assisting certificate, and then they could start, on their job hunts to work in the medical field. I do have a question, because I didn't fully understand. You said that when this is up and running and community, just kind of stay tuned, we'll be blasting it out when it's ready. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in English, and then Tuesday and Thursday is bilingual student support. If our community members are not bilingual, they're English only, will they also need to go to the Tuesday, Thursday?
So this is for students who are English language learners. First and
Oh,
foremost, yes.
okay.
Mid ESL to advanced ESL levels to understand the terminology and to continue to thrive and finish the program.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's the Tuesday, Thursday classes, correct?
So these 15 students will have to go through all 5 days, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for the medical piece,
Uh-huh.
certified nurse assistant, by the nurse instructor or CTE instructor. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, they need to go there too to reinforce the terminology in case, because they're mid-level ESLs and maybe even somewhat advanced, but still there's more reinforcement through the ESL teacher.
Got it, got it. And I also noticed it says it's going to include an externship. Can you say more about the externship? That's it.
Yes. So before I applied for this grant here, or for this opportunity for us, we had to, excuse me, have a partner, a local partner, community partner, who will help us do the externship or do your field work or see how this is done in the real world. And so there's a lot of places that and we know about, but in this case, Via Healthcare Center off of Magnolia, I went to talk to them, and they help they serve senior citizens. And so here is one place that we will be doing the internship. Again, we're just waiting for that instructor, but this is all lined up for us. This class would take place at La Sierra High School because at La Sierra High School, there's already a certified nursing assistant class at the high school level for the La Sierra High School kids that the teacher, Mrs. Kathy Thompson, teaches. In fact, I went to their graduation at RCC in the summer, last summer. They had 11 students graduate right out of high school. They can go into being CNAs,
Wow.
start making $22 an hour, and then they can go into LVN and then go into RN and go on. Sky's the limit.
How long will the CNA class course be?
So it's 1 year. It's 1 year.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's totally free. That's amazing. And I want to just kind of highlight for you and for our community members something you said, Mr. Medina. This is a grant that you applied for. You saw the need in our community. You went out for the money and you secured the money for our community. Thank you, Mr. Medina, on behalf of everybody here from Riverside. Me and my family, we're from Riverside. You're changing the trajectory of our community, and I just can't be prouder of the work that you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cisnero. In all honesty, folks were thinking, oh man, if you apply, you might not get it because it'll be difficult to get somebody, or the challenges. But I said, you know what? No, we gotta at least apply, and sooner or later, hopefully we get someone. We got the grant, we got the funding. Sooner or later, somebody hopefully will sign up to be our nursing instructor. We already have the teacher. She's waiting, ready and willing, the ESL one, but at least it's there. So it is better to have this because you never know when that instructor will get hired in HR, and then we're ready to go. So thank you, Dr. Cisneros. All right. So here are the days and times I explained earlier, but here they are. ESL, or English as a second language, Mondays and Wednesdays, 4:30 to 7:30. And we have the other three, high school diploma and GED preparation, short-term CTE, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So the registration piece that we talked a little bit earlier, so it's different for every program. English as a second language, or ESL, is ongoing, but as space permits. Excuse me. Right now, the classes are pretty full. But again, I'll give you the information in a little bit, and call us, and let's see how soon we can get you in, okay? And there's a wait list right now. But again, call us. High school diploma completion, ongoing as space permits. Currently has a wait list. In fact, the teacher, Mr. Pengzi, who teaches math at Villegas Middle School, he has a room and a half. Good thing the room has a door in between because he's like, very busy, very popular class. And then we have our GED teacher, Mr. Tyler Chapman, who teaches at Mission View High School for our transitional program. And this is ongoing as space permits, but call us. And then short term, at specific times during the year, classes generally start once a semester, but this time we have openings. Please call us, contact us. How is the registration process? Again, student completes the online registration. And there's some information there on the right. Staff contacts them to schedule an orientation. Then students intake a software computer program called CASAS testing. ESL students get placed based on test score, to be exact. High school diploma students meet with the counselor and develop a student success plan according to your transcript. GED students have the option to meet with the counselor to review past work. But again, if it's complicated to go into the registration process or our website, call us. We went over some questions, which I'm still open to, but there's my email. I always tell everybody, email me anytime. I usually reply within an hour or two or less. It's better than calling. Please email me and Victoria Santana, who is our outreach person as well, and she works with Adult Ed with me. But please, the best way is to email me or call the number there, 509-5015. But I think the best way is to email me. I promise you, I will get back to you.
Yeah, I've emailed Mr. Medina in the past and instantly gotten a response. Sometimes a response at 6 in the morning. It is impressive. Thank you, Mr. Medina.
You're welcome.
So for our community members, we've come to the end of the presentation. So now it's time to open up your microphones. If you have any additional questions that you'd like to ask Mr. Medina, now is the time. And if there's no questions, we'll just end a little early. Gabby, go ahead. Gabby, do you have a question?
Sí, muy buenas tardes a todos. Me da mucho gusto saludarlos. Una pregunta para el señor Medina. Ya la dije en el chat, ¿verdad? Pero quiero que me quede claro si ahorita en este tiempo no van a poder traer las clases de inglés para Nortevista o aquí la escuela de la Capo.
If you don't mind, Mr. Medina,
Es que mucha gente me ha preguntado sobre las clases aquí.
I'd like to
ya que se nos hace como muy lejos ir hasta que sí.
I'd like to translate that into English for our English-speaking family members who are joining us.
Sí, gracias.
Gabby asked, is there a possibility about bringing these classes to the Jones and Campbell location or potentially to Norte Vista? Mr. Medina?
So for now, they are here, but we can look into maybe having one or two classes, probably at Jones and Campbell, because that setting is a little more centralized. But for now, they're here, unfortunately. But I appreciate Gabby's question because it then tells us the need of this program at that side of the city and location. So I appreciate that for me to consider and bring it to my superiors.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Medina. Thank you, Gabby. And as Mr. Medina shared just a while ago, that these teachers through the Alvord Adult Education School, they are teachers in our elementary, middle, and high schools. So we're a little bit limited in who we hire, how we can hire, because we hire our teachers that are busy during the day, which is why we generally don't offer courses, at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, because the teachers who are teaching, right? So just wanted to give a little bit of that context. Zara?
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for being
Great.
here.
Great. First of all, congratulations and thank you for anything you guys do for everyone to learn. And I'm so excited. I have my mother here, even though she doesn't understand one word of English, but she's excited to be a part of that course. She wanted to join the ESL classes. So I want her to get into these classes. I hope you have one opening for her. So I can bring her and register her.
Yes, great question. You know, I see potential future students come in. Last 2 days, I saw some folks coming in. The sooner you get to us, the sooner we will enroll your mother to or on the ESL class or your family members to our ESL class. So please contact me, contact us at the information. I'm not sure if it was given on the chat, but
Yeah, put it into the chat and just briefly, let me just walk our families through how to get onto the registration. So I'm in our website, alvordschools.org. It's just the district website. If you see here, it says schools. That'll open up the list of schools that we have. You'll select adult education. And the very, very first thing you'll see is registration is now open. Learn more, and then it talks about the registration process here. So we do have these two. Mr. Medina, would you mind if I click it? You can kind of walk us through what we'll be looking at. Mr. Medina, you're on mute. There you go.
yes, thank you. So for the registration, it's important that you click right there, start like you did, and fill out the information like Dr. Cisneros is filling it out right there, and submit that. But be sure that everything is accurate, is exact to your information, your email, your phone number, first name, and then what program you want, best time to call, and submit. It's pretty easy.
All right.
And then
Yes.
click submit, and then that's it. And it would go directly to Mr. Medina's team.
Yes.
And then Mr. Medina, you'll reach out to them, or Victoria will reach out to them.
So Victoria, or we also have Brisa Ortiz, our other secretary for adult education. They'll reach out to you and we'll go from there. But the sooner you do, the better, please.
Yeah. Then you'll be on the wait list sooner, Zara. So if you'll notice, this is for the high school diploma, GED test prep, and English as a second language. A little bit below, we had information for computer class registration. That's a separate registration form, but it's the exact same process.
Well, pleasure meeting you, both of you guys. Thank you for your time and thank you for this opportunity for these people that they want to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. And the good thing is it's in Riverside, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so I'll jump on my computer and register her. If not, I'm gonna run there, walk with her, and come and see you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
We're here for you.
All right. What time you guys open tomorrow morning?
Yes. So we have a continuation school during the day, but we are ready 3 p.m. until about 6:30 p.m.
Perfect.
for walk-ins.
Perfect. Thank you. Nice meeting you, and looking forward to seeing you up close.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you.
See you
God
here.
bless. God
God
bless.
bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does any other community members have questions that they'd like to ask to Mr. Medina? Okay. We have a question that came to me directly in the chat. I'm going to read it in Spanish first, and then we'll translate it. Disculpe, una mamá que su hijo ya terminó su high school puede tomar clases de flebotomía. So if a parent has a child who's already completed high school, can they take a phlebotomy class? I believe, Mr. Medina, they're referring to the certified nurses assisting class that you're talking about.
So, yes, we don't have phlebotomy, and eso es para sacar sangre, to withdraw blood. Right? I remember when I go to the clinic. Pero this one is certified nurse assistant, the one we're trying to get here started. Once we get the instructor hired, we have everything in place. We just need the instructor hired. Yeah. We already have the ESL instructor, but it's the certified nurse assistant, and we will let you know as soon as possible. and then we can talk to your student, to your son, about getting him into that class.
Yeah.
How
And
he qualifies and all that. Mhm.
if I can just maybe address one part of the question, is this, it mentioned if my son has already graduated high school. So if I understand this correctly, Mr. Medina, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is open to all community members, not necessarily just parents of Alvord students. We can have community members who have no connection to Alvord still enroll in the Alvord Adult School?
Yes. Yes, in fact, maybe somebody from Corona, Norco Unified, or those areas there, will take you too, you know, but it's only 15 limit for this year.
Got it. Thank you, sir. So for that certified nurses assistants class, once that is all done, and I'm very thankful that Mr. Medina has done such hard work. I know writing grants is very hard. Got us the funds. We're just working on getting that instructor. Somebody, Graciela, asked, can you share the link for the medical field classes? I'm sorry, I submitted the wrong link. I submitted the link for the office computer applications and computer literacy courses. I sent the information in the chat. There is no link just yet for the medical field classes, the certified nurses assistants, because that's still in the works. I think Mr. Medina is just communicating to our community members that this is upcoming, so stay tuned. But there is nothing yet to share. Disculpe también es para padres. Yes, this program is for parents, grandparents, mothers, uncles. It's anybody that's over the age of 18. And where will the classes for the certified nurses assistants program be? I think for now, if you don't mind, community, what we're going to do is let Mr. Medina work on the back end to get all of the programmatic structured. And then once that is done, we will be communicating it out to you. Because, you know, if for example, right now we say it's going to be at La Sierra, it's going to be at Hillcrest, and for one reason or another things change, we don't want to set up, you know, false expectations. So once Mr. Medina's team is ready to go with the flyers and the links and everything else, just like you get from me, from our family engagement department, these flyers and links and text, I will send it out. I often joke that I am the district chismoso, because I'm the one who sends out all of the information. I'm really good at that, so I'll spread the chisme because it's really good chisme. It's really good information and really good programs that Mr. Medina's team has structured for us. Do we have any other questions for Mr. Medina? All right, well, in the absence of that, just want to say thank you again to Mr. Medina for joining us today, for giving us this fantastic information. I'm going to share my screen one more time just so that we have your email and phone number displayed. So parents, please feel free to take a screenshot or just start sending him an email now, give him a call. Victoria Santana is our community outreach liaison who works hand in hand with Mr. Medina to get our families in the programs placed correctly. I think just as one big takeaway for me, these are free programs to anybody in our school district and outside of the district, anybody over 18. We're currently taking students for the computer literacy classes, both the basic and the certification course. Like Zara wanted to know about the English as a second language class. Those are currently full, but if you act now, write your name into the registration link, then that'll put you onto the waiting list. And as soon as there's openings, Mr. Medina's team will communicate that with you. Hay clases en la mañana. Are there classes in the afternoon? Currently, this is the schedule of classes. They are all from 4:30 to 7:30, and we have 4 different classes to choose from. 4:30 to 7:30. It's after, you know, most of our teachers are out of their normal teaching jobs, so they can be there with you. Thank you so much for this presentation, Mr. Medina, this information. And of course, we couldn't do this work without Yvonne and her team of interpreters in our English as a second language, our English learner support department. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you, Mr. Medina.
Thank you, Dr. Cisneros. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yvonne. We're here for you.